Welcome to the Authentic Spiritual Journey, a weekly podcast featuring real and practical spiritual conversations from diverse perspectives here on the Experience of the Soul podcast channel. Today, episode 240, Hold a Vision. And now your host, Reverend Cynthia Alice Anderson.
Hello and welcome to the Authentic Spiritual Journey. My name is Cynthia Alice Anderson. I'm the host, and I'm here today in my home studio, and I welcome you to a great day. I'm welcoming you into our show, and I'm so happy you are joining us today, whether you're driving in the car or working around the house or watching on YouTube. We thank you for the blessing that you are and that you're connecting with us today. And I can't believe it, friends. We're already in the fourth week of January already. This is January 23rd. And wow, we are already at show 240. And the title of today's show is Hold a Vision. Hold a Vision. And I am really excited about the show because we started off the year pretty strongly with really wanting to support your dreams and desires manifesting in 2023. The more work that I do with individuals around the country, the more I see that no matter what age we are, no matter what our sexual orientation or race, we all have this dream and desire to be more. And I know specifically with our listeners, yes, we love to manifest, but what we're really seeking to do most of all is see our world wake up, to see our world be a place of peace, and in fact, make a considerable difference in the world through living a life that's on purpose, through living a life that is lived from soul. So this is exciting. It is also a very high call, right? Once you start waking up spiritually, you realize, you know what? It's not just about me anymore. This is about serving the highest call of humanity. And what's so beautiful is that once we discover that God is everywhere present, God is present in us, it really inspires each of us to live a better, more God-centered, more joy-filled life. Jesus said it this way, I came that you might have life and have it more abundantly. And we honestly believe that the abundance of God is, first of all, our connection with the divine, our connection with all that is. And that then from that place of knowing that connection with God, that then we can begin to discover our purpose and God's divine plan for our lives. That each of us has a very specific part to play on planet Earth at this time, or we would not be here. We would not be here if we were not specifically designed to bring forward something very special to the world at this time. So here we are, friends, at show 240. I can't believe it. On January 23rd, again, the title of our show is Hold a Vision. Hold a Vision. As we began our year, we began with this idea that knowing that we are all souls on a journey, and that at the beginning of the year, all of us, it seems like, talk about resolutions. And we said, let's not live from our resolution, which is just a wish without a commitment. Let's live from our spiritual intention. And there is this spirituality, this groundedness, this wholeness, this peace that exists from our spiritual intention, living from our spiritual intention, that there is what I like to call, staying power. That as we live from the level of soul, we become present to our desires. And when I say desires, of course, I'm meaning desires of the soul. And so as we become more in touch with that, yes, we can not only become more aware, but then we can take steps to move forward and live from the level of the soul as well. And that living from soul means being able to accomplish wonderful things and living our dreams goals, and desires in the world. So this is a wonderful place to be in at the end of January already, because we started the year strong with our intentions, not resolutions. And if you missed that show on January 2nd, I want you to go back and listen to it. It might help you get just the amount of groundedness and ideas about your own process that you need, so that you're not just making a wish as you're talking to somebody at work or a friend and saying, oh, well, this is my resolution. I want to lose weight and make $1 million, and then laugh it off and go back to life as normal. We want you to be able to be successful in living those dreams, those goals, and those desires. And what's so wonderful is, if you listen to the show or take some of my courses, you will be doing that, no doubt. Because what we know is, as we align with spiritual principle, it is the Father's good pleasure to give us the kingdom. That's right from the Gospel of Luke. It is the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. And we know that kingdom is God's presence. It is love. It is power. It is strength. It is hope. It is, passion, goodness, abundance. All good things you can think of that are of the light are available to you, friends. All things, when you live from God and you live from soul. So in the second week of January, we started talking about allowing yourself to really dream about what's possible for you. And I wanted to touch back and review it in case you missed it, because I can't say this enough, that the only thing holding you back from accomplishing your dreams, goals, and desires is you. And that takes us to our third week, which was releasing old baggage. And we said, for these new dreams, goals, and desires, to really manifest in new ways, we're probably going to have to release old ways of doing, old ways of being, old ways of thinking. So week 3 was pretty intense, because I was calling you into really doing what is called in the 12 steps, a fearless and searching moral inventory. That, where are these places basically that I need to right the ship? Where are these places that I need to release and let go so that I can move forward? So this is tremendous, tremendous work of the soul to first even admit that you are connected to God and that you even have an idea of your divine purpose, because then you have to start taking responsibility for what is yours to do. So as you start getting clearer and clearer about that, you start realizing, oh my gosh, some of these emotional hurts, some of these self-limiting beliefs are still blocking the way from my forward movement. And sometimes the biggest thing standing in your way is unforgiveness. So that was last week's show. If you missed it, go back and grab it, because that's going to really support you as well. The truth is, friends, the depth that we're beginning to go on the podcast is, we really want to invite you into being a serious spiritual student. This means that you don't just go to church on Sunday and expect somebody else to do all the spiritual work and you sit there and take it in. What we're discussing starting in this year really is living life as a spiritual grown-up. And when you're living life as a spiritual grown-up, you are taking responsibility for your own life. You are seeking to live from soul. You are also seeking to live beyond your story and beyond the ego. And in fact, begin to live what you say your dreams, goals, and desires are for your life. Right? So in these last few weeks, as we've been going through this process of dreaming without limits, of releasing old baggage, what starts to come forward is a vision for your life. Today's show, again, this is show 240, hard to believe, show 240 on January 23rd is Hold a Vision. That's the title of today's show again, Hold a Vision. So what does this mean? Well, as we begin to do this bigger work and we start to glimpse a vision, what I want to really encourage you to do is, rather than jumping all around and trying all these different things, is simply sit with the vision that you've come to the vision is usually what keeps coming up as you allow yourself to dream, as you allow yourself to think, as you allow yourself to journal, as you allow yourself to write 10 impossible things, you start to realize there's one idea that comes forward over and over and over again. And that idea is what you're here to be about and to do. In other words, this is your vision. This is the vision you have for your life. This is the vision you have for your life. So hold a vision is about once you begin to glimpse what all that is God has for you to do, what God has for you to be in this world, once you glimpse that, as you begin to get very quiet and listen to the voice of your soul, as you can decipher and discern next steps. But first, for this next week, I want you to simply hold the vision that's come forward for you as you have done this other work in consciousness. Now, you heard me say, as you've done this other work in consciousness. Why would I be saying this? I'm saying to do this other work in consciousness because it is so important that you do the other work. Mostly when I ask people if they have a vision for their life, they tell me what they want. And that is not a vision for your life. All that's from ego, what you want. Vision is, who am I here to be? Who am I here to be? In other words, individually, what is my purpose in the world? So it's not about your job. It's about who are you here to be. That's the other thing that happens. It's either about what they want, what people want, or what they're doing for a career. You know, the vision you have for your life is, I bring love into every situation. Well, you can see how that's not necessarily going to be a job. What that will be, however, is a way you live in the world, who you are to be in the world. I have a friend who I've known for probably 30 years, and her basic vision is, I am light. And that's partly in the name of her ministry. It's like, I'm here to bring light. She brings light through prayer, through illuminating conversations, but that's who she's here to be. So she is a minister. In other words, she is in the light business, but it's not, this is what I want to do for a job. This is who I am to be in the world. So my vision for my life is, I ignite soul evolution. I ignite soul evolution. This means that wherever I go, I want to inspire and spark in people. Oh, maybe I could do that. Oh, maybe I could grow in my life. Oh, maybe I could evolve. Oh, maybe I could grow. And I spent months getting to that statement. As a matter of fact, that vision has refined over the years because I just held the vision. So what does this mean? Well, if you want one of my worksheets, we will attach it into the show notes, and I had it several shows ago as well. But there's a worksheet I use. It's from my business called Vision, Mission, Goals, Next Steps. And there's a very first box that says vision. And so after you've dreamed, after you've gotten some ideas about what's yours to do, you simply write that statement in your vision box. And then every day, as you do your morning pages, you also get out this page and you say, okay, is this who I am and who I am here to be? And you simply sit with it. So you sit in a state of receptivity, a state of meditation. You deep breathe, and you simply read over the things that you have on this list, your vision, and then it turns into vision and mission, and then eventually you're reading your goals, and all the things you see yourself doing in the next year. But we start with vision. Because friends, you can set goals all day long, and if you don't know who you're here to be, those goals are very likely to be ego-based and not really move you forward on your journey the way you hope to do. Your vision, as you look at it every day, as you kind of breathe into it and pray over it, what happens is that your vision becomes the guiding force of your life. I'll give you an example. A few months ago, I had a potential work opportunity, and that work opportunity was wonderful. It was working with a new type of demographic in terms of a larger setting. It wasn't in just a spiritual setting. It would have been in a corporate setting. And the more I realized the work I would have been doing there, I was taking it into prayer the next morning because on the surface, it really looked like a good opportunity. It would have been working with some people I know, and the money was great, and it would have possibly been travel. But the more I looked at it and the more I dialed into I Ignite Soul Evolution, every time I checked in with myself about that, going and doing that, I got a strong no from the universe. This was difficult for me because on the surface, it looked good, right? My ego loved it. It was going to be working with a large group of people. It was going to be in a corporate setting, but it was really not in line with the vision I have for my life. It was not in line with my life's purpose. So it did not feel like a fit for me. The good news is it reignited me in the work that I do to receive that offer. So I felt the divine order in it. I felt it was a learning phase, but my vision was the guiding force. My vision, I'm saying this twice on purpose. My vision was the guiding force in, should I do this or not? And it seems like in our world right now, the only question seems to be, will I make money at it? And money's wonderful, and we all need money to live. Absolutely. You all know we're in a campaign right now of $9,000 in 90 days. So, right? I mean, we all have to have money to live. However, all the money in the world, if I'm out of alignment with my vision, all the money in the world will not make me happy. And you know how I know? Because I've counseled people with millions that are miserable. They're miserable because they're not living in alignment with God's vision for their life. They say, well, I have the money, now what? You know, they've worked 40 years, 50 years for the money. Well, now I have the money, but, you know, my spouse left me and my kids hate me and yeah. So think about that, friends. So hold the vision is when we begin to come into some clarity about who we are, who God is in us, and then who we are to be as we go out into the world. What is the highest vision you have for your life? And what's so beautiful about this work as you hold the vision, what I'm describing is you have an idea. You know, after you've done all this work of dreaming and no editing and starting to see a pattern. And so you simply write it down and sit with it. And you'll sit with it and you'll sit with it. And a new word may come forward and a new awareness may come forward. And if you need help, well, that's when you make an appointment with me for a session. That's exactly what I love to help people do, is dial through, you know, what are the blocks and what is trying to come forward in terms of your vision for your life. Friends, I want you to be happy. And I believe each of us have a divine right to be happy. I believe each of us have a divine purpose to live in the world. So I love to help you do that. Because see, that's the vision I have for my life, is to ignite soul evolution. So the thing I love to do is help people get what is their next growth step to move into who they are to be in this world. And what I've learned, friends, is that all the successful people I know in the highest success that you can imagine in the world, whether they're athletes or in business, they all have coaches or mentors that help them along the journey. So if you don't yet have your vision and you're this far into the month, give me a call. Send me an email. Go to my website, CynthiaAliceAnderson.com. This is what I'm here to do to help you through that. When you do get an idea of what your vision is, I want to review what I've said so far. You're going to write it down, and every morning, you're going to sit with it, breathe into it, and say, is this what's mine to do? And then as you go throughout the day and throughout the weeks, you're going to simply sit with it and allow Spirit to work with you on that. You're going to receive signs. You're going to receive awarenesses. You're going to receive support. You're going to receive inspiration about what's yours to do and be. The story I told about, thinking about going into this other arena. One was in a corporate setting and one was potentially in higher education. And the answer was so strongly a no. I thought, well, what does this mean? I'm certainly happy in what I'm doing. What does that mean that's next for me? And then within a week, a new opportunity came forward to work with some kids in an athletic setting, a basketball program a dear friend of mine runs. And I'm going to be able to do some spiritual support, some inspiration, and help these kids with their own growth and evolution. And friends, I can tell you, there's nothing more fun than supporting kids and teens in knowing their greatness. Because once they get it, the world changes for the better. So I'm super excited about that opportunity. And when I checked in about that, it was like fireworks went off. Yes, yes, yes. Bright light and oh yes from the universe. So from a money standpoint, somebody might say, well, how much are you getting paid? Well, I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about that. God is my source. God is my source. I have everything I need. A beautiful home, an amazing kid, an incredible life, my health. All is well. All is well. I am taken care of financially. When I'm living from vision, all my bills are paid. It's amazing, friends. I heard an interview recently with actor Keanu Reeves, and I'm a big fan. And he said money has been the least of his concerns in which job he takes for acting. And he gave away, it was something like 90% of what he made from the movie The Matrix for cancer research. The guy is amazing because he's clearly living from vision. He's living his life purpose. Amazing, right? So what is the vision you have for your life? Hold the vision. Now, as you start to become more aware of the vision you have for your life, I want to encourage you to keep it to yourself for a while. It's such a new idea. It's like when a baby is first born and you don't even leave the house for a while, right? You just hold it there and you just protect it and keep it home and safe, right? You just nurture that baby. Well, that's what it's like with a new grand idea. If you start sharing it with people that can't support this new idea you have for yourself, you may get disappointed. People are often trying to help, but it will come across as being a naysayer. It will come across as being negative. It will come across as being non-supportive. And the last thing you need right now is that kind of energy around this new idea you have for yourself. The vision that you have for your life is between you and God. The vision you have for your life is about your individual soul journey, and no one can tell you what that is or not. I'm clear that when I work with individuals, I'm not telling you what your vision is. I will help you see patterns so that you can come to your own answers about what your vision is for your life. It's amazing to watch that happen. Because friends, within your soul is this divine intelligence. We often call it the Christ. You can call it God. You can call it Spirit. You can call it Lord. Like Daniel Nahmod's song, One Power says, right? One power. He says, by whatever name, it's one power. Well, that power lives in, through, and as you, and has its own individual intelligence to live in and through your life specifically. So this is a holy and sacred thing to get what is the vision for your life and for your world. What is the vision? Once you start to get clear, breathing into that vision, holding it in consciousness, and then working with it. You may work with it over weeks and months before you ever speak it to a single soul. What's so beautiful about that work is that I can assure you, friends, that God is speaking to you and that you do have a divine purpose right here, right now on planet Earth to be living. I want you to have the courage, the faith, and the strength to hold this vision and see how you can live into that vision and begin living your dreams, goals, and desires. This will bring so much joy, so much love, and so much life energy into your family, into your life and world. It will be amazing for you. You will go, oh my goodness, I don't know how this happened and that happened. When you're living from vision, it is amazing how the universe supports your dreams, goals, and desires. It's so exciting to live life this way. It's a pure joy and a pleasure. Yes, there's ups and downs, but it's a pure joy and pleasure to know that you are living on purpose and doing God's will for you and for your life. Absolutely. It's fun. It is exciting. It is exhilarating. And friends, it is possible for you. I know it. I know it's impossible for you. So my encouragement to you this week is that you begin to get clear after all this dreaming and the release you've been doing, that you will begin to get clear about who are you here to be, not what are you here to have and where you're supposed to work. Because once you know your vision, those things will easily be made manifest for you. You will have clarity to move forward, and you will be supported by the whole universe as you do this. I also want to encourage you, if you need help or support along the journey, to reach out, because again, this is my vision for my life. And you can reach me through my website, CynthiaAliceAnderson.com. You can find me on YouTube. You can find me on Instagram, and I'm available to support you on your spiritual journey. So we thank you as always for joining us, dear friend. Thank you for your financial support. It is through your generous support that we're on the air, and we honor you and thank you, and we bless you for being a part of our spiritual family. So we look forward to seeing you next week, and blessings on the journey, dear friends.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode of the Authentic Spiritual Journey here on the Experience of the Soul podcast channel. This channel is made possible because of listeners just like you. If you would like to support the channel with your tax-deductible contribution on an ongoing basis or through a one-time gift, head over to experienceofthesoul.com/support. The Authentic Spiritual Journey is copyright 2023, Cynthia Alice Anderson, all rights reserved. Our theme music is composed by Dave Croft and used with permission from RR Hot Publishing. The Experience of the Soul podcast channel is a production of 818 Studios.
Thank you for listening to the show today, dear friends. I'm always happy to have you along the journey. If you're seeking deeper work, though, I'm going to invite you into one-on-one coaching with me. In my coaching work, I get to glean from my over 30 years of experience of working with individuals and leaders in the community on their spiritual journey. So I have a wealth of information that will help you along the journey, and it will be supportive. It will be supportive of your dreams, goals, and desires, but it will also be confrontive, because I am going to help you confront those limiting patterns and beliefs and help you break through those aspects and move into looking at life in a more holistic way. So even though it will be confrontive and at times even challenging, you will learn to grow, you will learn to prosper, and you will evolve into the person you have always wanted to be. Friends, the answers lie within you, and I am so honored to help empower you to live that truth and that goodness in the world. If you want to learn more about coaching with me, simply go to CynthiaAliceAnderson.com and go to the coaching section for more information. That's CynthiaAliceAnderson.com and go to coaching, and I'll be happy to set up a one-on-one call so we can discuss how I can best support your journey. Thanks again for joining me today, dear friend, and blessings on the journey.
Hey friends, Sean here, your Experience of the Soul producer. I want to take a moment to tell you about something truly exciting. The SoulWorks online community, created by your host, Cynthia Alice Anderson, and available on the Mighty Networks app. If you're looking for a place where you can explore your spiritual path, connect with others, and grow in a meaningful way, then this is for you. SoulWorks is so much more than an online community. It's a safe, inclusive space for spiritual exploration, self-discovery, and personal transformation. Inside the community, you'll find everything from uplifting spiritual studies to soul-centered growth practices, meditations, affirmations, and so much more. It's a space where you'll always be supported and never judged. The best part, membership is free. You'll have access to powerful resources, inspiring content, and a supportive group of like-minded people who are all on their own unique spiritual journeys. And if you're ready to dive deeper, there are premium options available to enhance your experience with a live Monday night talk series and extended, deeper meditations. If you're seeking a place to connect, grow, and nurture your soul, we would love to have you join us in the SoulWorks community and see where this journey can take you. Visit my.soulworkscommunity.com today.